everybody, hope you're well. It's Jo here from Aquarius Tarot, and I'm here to do another reading to have a look at whether you will reconcile with your person. So that is a question that is on a lot of people's minds, so we're going to have a look at that today. We'll work through each of the signs in order and see what the cards and the universe have to say on that subject. You can of course cross-watch if you want to, but please bear in mind that this is a general reading, so it can't resonate for everybody. If you'd like a personal reading, the details are in the description box. Please note that I will be doing readings within 12 to 24 hours, turning them around quickly this week, but next week and the week after I'll be taking some time off, so there would be a longer time frame if you did want a reading with me. Okay, and when I say a reading with me, you send me your questions, I record the video and send it to you, so it's not actually in person. I record the video and send it on to you. Okay, all right, so we'll start with Aries. Hello Aries, how are you doing today? Hope everything's all right with you. So we're looking at whether you and your person are going to reconcile. Okay, so it's somebody that you and you've had a connection with, and maybe you've parted ways for one reason or another. Perhaps there was a fallout, or perhaps things just fizzled. But we'll look at if this person will come back and if you two will reconcile and move forward. Okay, so we've got the Five of Swords, we've got the Ace of Cups, we've got the Three of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups. All right, so interestingly, this person is looking ahead into their future and wondering what it's going to look like. I think sometimes when you split from somebody, you part ways, what you thought was mapped out for your future suddenly kind of isn't there anymore. You kind of just wonder what is ahead for you. And this person's looking ahead and sort of thinking, it's very strange to think of you not being in that future. And it feels like it's all down to a misunderstanding. So perhaps if they speak to you about it, they could put it right. So I think they realise that they might need to lead with love, but they also might need to come with a message of substance. So perhaps an apology or an explanation of how they realise, they played a part in what went wrong. They do want a new start based on the fact they've got really strong and deep feelings with you, or for you, sorry. They think that you are warm and kind and generous and got lovely qualities as well. And I think they're going to ask to see you or talk to you, whether that be online or in person. Okay, so they do want to ask to talk to you. So what's the mutual energies, please, universe, and the likely outcome for Aries and their person? What are the mutual energies and the likely outcome for Aries and their person? We're talking about whether they might reconcile, but we want to know, both parties have got to want this, haven't they? So mutual energies, likely outcome here. In a minute we'll look at the timeline briefly. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of love between the two of you. You both realise you're at a crossroads and you need to make a decision. There's a lot of attraction between the two of you. I think you might be sort of holding back and being a little bit proud, both of you. You're being quite defensive. I think maybe you're scared of being hurt, or feelings have already been hurt. But I think you can't really resist a bit of flirting and reaching out to each other in communication. And you'll have to work out how to move forward. I think each of you are just wondering how this can be moved forward. But it feels like small gestures will be the start of this and will enable you to move forward. Okay. Quick look at the timeline for you then, Aries. A quick look at the timeline. So when will this further communication happen? We did see this person will ask to see you, didn't we, Aries? So when will that be? Okay, soon. They're going to talk to you about this in a few weeks, and I think by the time June comes around, you will have seen this person. Okay, if you're out of contact with this person, let's find out what they'd want to say to you. Two have just flipped over. They wish they could share some good news with you. They say they felt that you came closer than anyone, perhaps to having that long-term relationship or that forever relationship. There was perhaps a discussion where you both agreed you need to let each other go. Perhaps one of them one of you was emotionally unavailable. All right. I think it was the other person. They can't stop thinking about you, and they realise that they have caused the problem here. We did see that, didn't we? We did see that they realise they need to step up with a message of substance and an apology and that kind of thing. So, all right, Aries, thank you for joining me. Do hope that was helpful. As always, appreciate you liking the video. Any comments you'd like to give are always welcome as well. And please make sure you're subscribed. Would love to have you part of the collective that I regularly read for. Thank you. And now we're moving on to Taurus. So hi there, Taurus. We are talking about whether you may reconcile with your person, what their intentions and their thoughts and feelings are around a reconciliation, whether there'll be any action. In a minute, we'll look at mutual energies and the likely outcome and the timeline for any actions as well. So we'll get as detailed as we can in a short reading. If you'd like a personal reading, please do reach out in the description box. The details are in the description box. Apologies. It's the end of a long day. Okay, so Taurus. There's a couple of cards dropped there onto the table. So what do we have? We have the Eight of Cups. So what I'm seeing is that one or both of you has walked away. There has been a parting of ways here. There's the Eight of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Wands, the Strength, and the Chariot as well. So what I'm seeing here really is that there's been a parting of ways. There's a real desire to work on this from the other person. And they're trying to perhaps behave in a better way, communicate better, work on themselves so that they have some level of self-control. Perhaps there was some anger or some, an emotional reaction, and now they're trying to make it so that they perhaps think logically before they react. They've had some lessons to learn here, which I think they have learnt. And they realise, I think, now what they need to do to come back towards you. Because they really would like, with the Chariot here, that talks about closing a distance between you two. So they want to come back towards you, whether that's physically come towards you, visit you, go somewhere with you. But it also could be just emotionally getting closer again. You may feel very, very apart at the moment, and they want to put that right and get closer to you again. I do think there could have been some jealousy issues here that caused the parting of ways, Taurus. Could have been a bit of player energy around this person. A bit of blow hot, blow cold, a bit confusing, showing you attention and then disappearing. But anyway, let's find out what the mutual energies and the likely outcome is here for you, Taurus. What are the mutual energies and the likely outcome? Okay, so you're both thinking about each other. You're both probably feeling each other's energies quite strongly. Yeah, there is a bit of jealousy here, but you don't want to let go. Each of you doesn't want to let go of the other one. I'm seeing a lot of love and quite a lot of focus on security, loyalty, building something that you both can feel confident in, that's going to progress and last for you both. Okay, so that's the mutual energies. And yes, I'm seeing some quick communication coming in here with the Knight of Swords. Okay, so I'm going to look at the timeline, but I'm sensing something fairly quick coming here for you, Taurus. Let's have a look. Timeline, wasn't it, we were looking at? What's the timeline for Taurus's person to communicate, please, universe? Timeline for Taurus's person to communicate. I think during Easter. Yeah, I think so. And I think you two have been taking a break from each other. You could hear from this person as early as tomorrow, actually. And I did say, didn't I? I see something coming in quite quickly for you here. If you are out of contact, let's find out what this person would want to say to you. So, universe, what would Taurus's person want to say to Taurus, please? What would they want to say to Taurus? What messages would they have if they were to share how they truly feel? I wish I could share my good news with you. That came out just for Aries as well, actually. Got something they would like to say. I want you. So we did see a lot of attraction, didn't we? And I think that's how they're feeling. They have had a spiritual lesson. I saw that. And I said to you, I think they've learned a lesson. They're thinking of you when they hear music as well. And yeah, I did see something around material things. Focus on finance and security and that kind of thing. All right. Okay, Taurus, I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate any support you might be called to give, like liking the video, commenting, making sure you subscribed. I'd love to see you again for my next readings. And yeah, thank you very much. See you soon. And now we're on to Gemini. So hello, Gemini. We are looking at the person on your mind and whether you will reconcile with them. So we will look at what this person's feelings and intentions are. We'll look at the mutual energies, the likely outcome, the timeline, and then any hidden messages that they would want to give to you. Okay. So messages for the highest good of Gemini, please, universe. Will they reconcile with their person? Has there been a third-party situation? There's been some heartbreak, certainly here, Gemini. There's a Hierophant. Have you two been married or talked about marriage? Five of Wands. Misunderstanding around marriage. Eight of Pentacles. You could have met somebody at work. There could have been somebody who was married that you met at work. And I think there's been perhaps some regrets around some behaviours here. I think perhaps this person was married and you didn't know it. Okay. I'm sensing this person was married and you didn't know it. And so there was a third party situation that perhaps they feel regretful about. And perhaps there has been some conflict and issue around it. I think they're doing their best to put their walls up now, actually, because of what's happened. You might end up seeing them for some reason, potentially at work. They are having some sort of epiphany moment. Maybe it's a moment of guilt or wishing things, you know, they've done things differently, and they've definitely withdrawn into their own energies. But they did like you. There was something about you that attracted them, Gemini. Something in relation, I think, to loyalty and sort of a solid character and somebody who stands out from everybody else. You two might be quite culturally aligned as well, potentially. Let's have a look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome here. Feels like a tricky situation, this one. Universe, what are the mutual energies, please, and the likely outcome for Gemini and their person? What are the mutual energies, likely outcome for Gemini? Yeah, there's going to be some communication coming in about a situation with a marriage, something that's happened in somebody's past, or some history that's still around somebody, affecting somebody. Could be the children that they have with another partner. You both might have children with other partners, actually. They'd like things to be, you know, get on a better footing with you after perhaps a terrible parting of ways. I don't think it was very pleasant. I think it was quite hurtful and difficult for you both. But yes, lots of communication coming in. Communication about the situation, what they want going forward, what they would like. Same for you. I think you're going to share the same sorts of wishes, desires, that kind of thing. Outlook on what it is, you know, that's gone on between the two of you. Let's look at the timeline for this communication. I'm just going to go and put the light on, actually. So universe, what's the timeline for this communication, please, between Gemini and their person about reconciliation? What's the timeline for communication coming in? I think there'll be communication over a period of time. I do think this is a tricky situation, Gemini. I think very soon you'll hear. The communication will continue through April. And continue for a few weeks. Sorry if I keep stuttering. I'm struggling to speak this evening. Not good, is it, when you're doing a 12 sign all signs reading? Let's find out what they'd want to say to you. So hidden messages from your person, assuming you're out of contact or not communicating well at the moment. Well, they said they hid who they were from you. Now we saw they probably were in a third party there. They do wonder if you're happy without them. They're obviously thinking about you a lot. They do love you. There's love there. They're afraid to get in touch, actually. They were saying they couldn't really let you get properly close to them. Obviously, there was a reason why. And they want to tell you how they feel about you. So I think they will be reaching out. There'll be some communication. Whether you want to continue that communication on that basis, Gemini, is up to you. Okay. But thank you for joining me. Please do come back and watch me again. Please do like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I would appreciate it. It makes a big difference to me. Just give me a moment before we move on to our next sign. Okay, sorry about that. My apologies. Okay. All right, so we're moving to Cancer now. Hello, Cancer. How are you today? Hope all is well with you. We're looking at whether you'll reconcile with your person, Cancer. So we're going to try and dig into this as much as possible. We're going to look at their feelings and intentions. We're going to look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome, because of course it depends how you're feeling about the situation as well, and how you two are likely to interact with each other. We'll look at the timeline for any action, and we'll also look at any hidden messages that they may want to give. All right, so, oops, the Five of Swords. Okay, so there's been some kind of miscommunication between the two of you. Other people might have got involved and said things that were unhelpful, passed on messages that were misunderstood. In fact, some messages that were, or information that was shared could have felt like a stab in the heart for some people for some reason. Perhaps it just felt like a betrayal of some sort. What else can you share, please, universe, for the highest good of Cancer? So, Five of Swords, Ace of Swords, Three of Wands, Hierophant, Tower, and the Strength. Okay, so I do think you two did have a difficult parting of ways. I think it might have come out of the blue. It might have been a bit unexpected. They do want to talk to you. And they would love to be able to talk this through, to be able to have a new start. They would like to reconcile. I do think there's been some miscommunication about a commitment of some sort. And I think this person perhaps has been a little bit stubborn, held back a little bit. Might be because they were up in their head, but it might not have come across very well. It could have come across like they were being a bit disingenuous or a bit avoidant. They'd like to talk to you, but I feel that they may be waiting to see if they can get some sort of indication from you as to whether you're open to a reconciliation. It feels like they're not going to be overly quick just to come forward. But I do think there's been some issue around house, home, family, commitment, marriage potentially. And perhaps some need for some greater information or illumination around a subject that's key and important perhaps to you or to them, or I think more to you perhaps. They have not really given you communication about the things that you need in terms of what the future might hold. Let's have a look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome. So universe, what are the mutual energies and what's the likely outcome, please, for Cancer and their person? What are the mutual energies and what's the likely outcome for Cancer and the person that they are inquiring about in relation to a reconciliation, please, universe? Okay. King of Wands, Eight of Cups, Four of Swords, Three of Swords, Ten of Wands, and the Lover's card. Okay, so there's a very strong connection between the two of you. Could be sort of soulmate kind of connection, to the point where you're feeling you're very energetically connected. You're feeling each other's energies super strongly, Cancer. The fact that you've parted ways has been a big burden on both of your shoulders. You both feel absolutely devastated by this. You don't quite know, how, it's been something that's on your mind. It's been difficult to function. There's a lot of heartbreak here. The heartbreak has not gone away. You're both feeling the heartbreak. And actually, if you two could align, it feels like you both have similar goals. You both have similar ambitions and similar values around things. The things that you feel are important in life, it's the same for both of you. So that could help you align here. And I think it's sort of partly why you've actually formed this strong connection that you have. But you're definitely very much thinking of each other and burdened by the fact that you split. So universe, will there be communication here? It feels very passive at the moment, but there is communication. They would like communication about a new start, but they're hoping you might reach out, okay? But universe, will they reach out without Cancer making the first move? Will they reach out without Cancer making the first move? Oh, not easily. They're holding back a bit, Cancer. Yeah, they're very slow. They will, but they're going to be slow about it. Very slow. We'll look at the timeline deck, see what we can find, and then we'll get some hidden messages from them before we move on. Do hope this reading is proving helpful for you. Please do like the video. Drop me a thumbs up. Please make sure you drop any comments as well that you're willing to share around how it resonates for you. And please make sure you're subscribed. I've got so many people watching who are not subscribed, so it would be lovely, please, if you'd like to help me and set that intention that you'd like to be part of the collective that I read for. Okay. So when will there be communication from Cancer's person, please, universe? When will there be communication from Cancer's person? Tomorrow morning is coming out. You might hear from them tomorrow morning. Now, Cancer, it could be something that happened in October that was pivotal to this breakup. But yes, very soon you will hear from them. Where's my other deck gone? It's disappeared. There it is. Okay, so let's find out if your person is out of contact with you at the moment, you're out of contact with them. Let's try and see what messages they'd want to give to you, Cancer. So many things remind me of you, they would want to say. Starting to understand our connection. I do think there was there is a very strong connection between you two. They're very attracted to you. They try not to react if other people mention you, but, you know, inside they're sort of, you know, leaping inside when your name is mentioned. Okay, they're saying it was their fault, but they were blaming you. They're feeling a little bit like they're not worthy, like they feel like they're not worthy of you, they don't deserve you, but they still want you at the same time. Okay, well, thank you, Cancer, for joining me. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time already. Please do make sure, as I said, that you're subscribed so that we can find each other again and you know when my videos are being uploaded. Okay, so now we're moving on to Leo. Hi there, Leo, how are you today? We are looking at the person on your mind, Leo, in particular, somebody that you are wondering whether you might reconcile with. Okay, so we're going to find out what their feelings and intentions are before we then move on to look at the mutual energies and likely outcome. We'll look at the timeline for any actions and we'll look at any hidden messages from them if you're out of contact, so what they'd want to say to you. Okay, so universe, what messages please do you have for Leo? For their highest good, to bring them peace, wisdom, clarity and understanding around this situation and understand their person's feelings and intentions around a reconciliation, please, universe. Okay, a lot of cards jumping for you, Leo. There seems to be some energy in the cards for you. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Two of Wands, the Five of Swords, Death, and Judgment. Okay, so there was some dishonesty here. We've got the Seven of Swords. Now this is somebody who has not really given you the truth of a situation, and it's caused some tension and some difficulty, difficult situation between the two of you. They're thinking about you all the time. You're very much on their mind. You've captured their attention. You've captured their thoughts. But it feels like the connection's kind of fizzled a little bit, quietened down, if you like, or even come to a bit of more of an abrupt end, possibly for some people. Now, it feels like for this person, something would need to come to an end to enable them to make a decision to move forward with you. There's three cards telling me this. So we've got the Death card, which is a card of things ending in order to open new doors for opportunity. There's the Judgment, which is making a decision, having a bit of an epiphany moment, starting to realise what you want. And then we've got the Two of Wands, which is an energy of needing to make a decision. It's like you're at a crossroads, or this person feels they're at a crossroads and they could go one way or the other way and they haven't yet made up their mind. But you are on their mind, okay? You are on their mind with the Four of Swords. Definitely been some dishonesty, and it might have given you a bad feeling. You know, when you get that bad feeling in your tummy because you realise this person's not really been telling you the truth, or they're not quite who you thought they were. You've had that horrible gut-wrenching feeling at some point with this person. They've put you into a bad energy at one time or another, and you've started to wonder if you really ever knew them at all. And some information that you heard, oh sorry, knocking my candles, it's like a bit of a stab to you, or multiple stabs. It felt like, yeah, stabby, painful situation. Okay, let's have a look at mutual energies and the likely outcome between the two of you. Leo, what are the mutual energies? What's the likely outcome between you and your person that you're thinking of reconciling with? 2 more shuffles, please, universe. Got the Chariot, got the Judgment, and we've got the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so you would like to come back towards each other. You both realise there's a decision that needs to be made here. And there's a conversation that I think you'd both like to have about the future. There's a lot of chemistry, a lot of attraction here with the Queen of Wands. And it is a potential for you, there is a potential for you to be in a long-term relationship with this person. Something else has got to end first though, right? We've seen that with Death and Judgment. I think maybe this is a situation where maybe you could get to know each other a little bit better, perhaps because there's been some breach of trust and a bit of a bad feeling around this at some point. You need to just take the time to build that trust, get to know each other better, get to know each other sort of really well, get to know that information that maybe you didn't really properly know about before with the Page of Swords. Okay, I think you've both got a lot of curiosity about the other. So I do think there'll be some communication at some point here. It might be a bit slow because there's something that needs to be dealt with. So let's have a look at a timeline then, Leo. Universe, what's the timeline, please, for communication between Leo and their person about a reconciliation or a drawing closer together, please, universe? There's clearly a decision that needs to be made here. Oh gosh, I set Alexa off, it scared me. Okay, so Leo's person and Leo having a conversation about reconciliation or a decision about the future. Something happened in October. Did you meet in October? Within the next month, I think you'll have some more communication with this person. But something of significance was happening around autumn time. That's something that's already gone past. Yeah, you need a lot of patience for this one, Leo. But there is divine timing at play, so if you can be patient, perhaps it will come in at the right time for you. Okay, let's find out what your person would want to say to you. So universe, what would Leo's person want to say to them, please? If you're out of contact, Leo, or you're not communicating well, let's find out what's going on in their mind and heart and what they'd want to say to you. I'm going to take those two. I think they were meant to come out. What would they want to say? And I'm going to take that as a split. Okay. You don't know how hard it was to let you go. Did they part ways with you? Did they end things? Just being near you is intoxicating. There is a lot of chemistry. I have seen that. It was obviously not quite the right time. They want to feel that way again. They've spent some time with you that made them feel a little bit dizzy and giddy. Yeah, the timing just wasn't right for some reason, and they do regret lying. They're saying they're not available. Okay, so maybe this is what's needing to end in order for them to be able to move towards you, Leo. I hope that was helpful. Thank you for joining me today. Appreciate all your support in terms of liking the video, making sure you're subscribed, commenting and all that good stuff. Engagement with my video helps me loads, so thank you again. I look forward to seeing you next time. And now we're moving on to Virgo. Welcome, Virgo. I hope you're well. So, Virgo, we're looking at whether you will reconcile with your person. First of all, we're going to look at their feelings and their intentions. Then we're going to look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome based on how you both feel and how you're likely to interact with each other. And then we'll look at timeline for any actions or communication, and we'll look at, if you're out of contact with this person, we'll look at what they would want to say to you, what hidden messages there are from them to you. Okay. So there's a card, a couple of cards, three cards have jumped onto the table. I'm going to do 2 more shuffles. 1, 2. And let's see. What have we got? Oh, 7 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, Hierophant, and the 3 of Wands. They want to work on this connection with you. They've got a lot of regrets. I think they were keeping their options open, and that's what they regret. They didn't commit, but they want to work on this to the point where you do reach the ultimate commitment, whether that's living together or getting married or whatever that is for the two of you. They've had a lot to deal with, a lot to juggle. They've been a bit in their indecisive energy, lack of action energy. But they are now starting to look at the future and see a future with you. And yeah, I think they really do regret keeping those options open. They feel like they should have locked it in. And now they really wish they'd done that, Virgo. Okay. Let's have a look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome here. Universe, what are the mutual energies, please, and the likely outcome for Virgo and their person? Mutual energies, likely outcome for Virgo and their person. There was a parting of ways, and maybe you're still seeing yourselves parted at the moment. There could have been a discussion around children. I think you really like a family together, whatever form, shape or form that takes. You both want to communicate in a way that's mature and clear and sets out what you want for the future. You two have got a karmic contract, and so I think that's why you want a relationship, both of you. You want to be together. You both got your guard up though. It does happen an awful lot, doesn't it? Yeah. You're both feeling like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders at the moment, Virgo. Let's have a look at a timeline for next actions and communication. Universe, what's the timeline for next actions and communication with this person, please? Inquiring on behalf of Virgo. Timeline for potential communication about reconciliation, please, Universe. Okay, it's going to take a little while here. Across the summer, though, there will be some communication and some movement. You might feel a bit dejected for a while. Say you've got to let go of this first before it will come in for you, Virgo. Often the case, isn't it? Often the case. You forget about it, try and move on, get on with your life, and then something comes bouncing back. It's as soon as you do let go and move on that it does come bouncing back, always. A number of times I hear about that from my clients anyway. We're moving to look at hidden messages from your person, Virgo. So what would they want to say to you? Universe, what would Virgo's person want to say to them, please? They're saying they love you. They're not available right now, and they lost themselves for a little while. I hope that you can forgive them. So they're becoming a better person. Perhaps they feel they need to heal and grow before they can come back towards you. Yeah, they really hope you forgive them. That's definitely come out another time. They're saying that they blamed you, but they know it's their fault, and they hope that you can forgive them in time. Okay, Virgo. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate that. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing. Always love to hear your comments if you'd like to share how the reading resonates for you. Very interesting to me. And I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. And now we're moving to Libra. Hi there, Libra. How are you? We're looking at whether you're going to reconcile with your person, Libra. So first of all, we're going to look at whether your person, what the person on your mind, what their feelings are and what their intentions are regarding a reconciliation. Then we'll look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome, so how you're both feeling and how you're both likely to interact with each other. And we will look at timeline for any actions and communications, and also any hidden messages from your person. So what they would want to say to you, particularly if you're out of contact or not communicating well and they're not sharing their feelings with you. Okay, so we've got the Six of Swords on the table. Libra. Yep, Six of Swords. We've got the Sun. Ooh, could be dealing with a Leo. We've got the Queen of Wands, somebody that finds you very attractive. Somebody who feels like they need to put things right. Things didn't go very well between the two of you, and they feel that they need to take some action to put this right. And their action that they will take is to try and come and talk to you, okay, with the Knight of Swords. In fact, they're going to get to a point where they just can't help themselves. They're going to come rushing in to try and communicate with you. They feel that you make them really happy. And all of their intuition is driving and pulling them back towards you, because partly, I'm sure it's not just physical, but there's a lot of attraction there. There's a lot of chemistry. They do think about how you look and how attractive you are to them. And it's making them feel like they really want to come back towards you. They do get a really warm, happy feeling, a glowy feeling when they're around you. They realise that in order to put this right, they are likely to have to be the ones to step up and put this right. Okay, so that is how they're feeling. Definitely want to talk to you. They want to put it right. I think they want to step up. Their intuition is drawing them back, Libra. So what are the mutual energies and what's the likely outcome? Once again, very physical connection here. Lots of attraction, lots of chemistry. They didn't share how they felt with you. Okay, they didn't share that with you before. They kept those feelings hidden, and I think they realise now they need to step up and actually tell you how they feel. And maybe you were the same. Maybe you also didn't share how you felt with them, Libra. But it needs to be equal give and take between the two of you. Do you think there was tension, conflict? You could have had an argument. You've had some anxious evenings, anxious night times after this situation. I do feel like there was a bit of a lack of stepping up here. This person's quite obsessed, actually. There's a very strong, almost obsessive connection between the two of you. But you're not talking to each other. You're very quiet. Yeah, this person wants to step up and try and see if they can salvage a relationship with you, definitely. And I think you would quite like that as well, Libra. But do let me know. You might feel like absolutely not, and that's okay. Everybody's got free will and choice. But the mutual energies suggest you might quite like it, even if it's just you might quite like hearing from this person to get a bit of satisfaction. Okay, might make you feel like it straightened things out and made things a bit more fair. Let's look at the timeline then. So when will this person reach out to Libra, please, universe? When will Libra's person reach out to them? There was something that happened around your birthday, Libra, and I do think you could hear from this person as soon as tomorrow. But to actually move things forward properly might take a while. It might take a bit more of conversation. It might be pretty bad between the two of you just at the moment. But let's find out what they'd want to say to you, Libra. So universe, what would Libra's person want to say to Libra, please? What would they want to say to Libra if they could? They said they hide behind material things. They want you. Very strong connection there. They struggle to let you get close. They kind of feel like they need a sign from you that you're willing to hear from them, I think. They wish they'd treated you better, and they definitely have a lot of love for you. Okay, Libra, I hope that was helpful. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for your likes, shares, subscribes. All your interactions help me greatly and I do appreciate them all. Thank you. And now we'll move to Scorpio. So hi there, Scorpio. I hope everything's all right with you today. We're looking at whether you'll reconcile with your person. So first of all, we'll look at your person's feelings and intentions. And secondly, we will then look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome. We'll look at the timeline for any actions, and we'll also look at any hidden messages that your person would want to give you if you're not in communication or you're not communicating well. We'll get some messages from your person. Okay. So, universe, messages for the highest good of Scorpio, please, to bring them peace, wisdom, clarity and understanding around the situation and the person's feelings about a reconciliation, please, universe. So we've got the Two of Swords, we've got the Two of Cups, we've got the Three of Cups, we've got the Queen of Cups, the Seven of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. Okay, well, Scorpio, I'm seeing lots of love here, lots of deep feelings for you. I'm feeling like they do want a relationship with you and they're trying to work out how they might be able to bring that about, okay? They feel like there's a decision to be made and they really want to come back towards you. They're kind of weighing up coming back towards you, but they feel like they don't know how you feel. They don't know whether you would accept them. They feel like you've got a lot of healthy boundaries. You take care of yourself. You're not somebody who's going to allow somebody to treat you not very well. And so they want to come back towards you in the right way. They don't quite know how to do that. They don't quite know whether you still accept them. They're just very unsure and undecided, but there's lots of love. They would like a connection, a relationship with you. I do feel they're going to ask to see you, perhaps to do something fun or meet with friends or do something that's no pressure, a no pressure kind of situation. And they will strike up communication. I do think is one of those where you need to keep your phone charged because a message will come in, particularly I would say during the night time or evening time. You might wake up to a message, or it might come in, you know, when you're just relaxing in your bed, ready to go to sleep, and a message comes in and you strike up a communication with this person, Scorpio. Let's have a look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome. So how do you feel about this as well? And what's likely to happen based on how you two would interact with each other if there's some... Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of anxiety. You're both thinking of each other at night time. There is anxiety around this. As I said, I think they don't know how to come towards you, and it's giving them anxiety, and maybe you're not sure if they will come towards you and it's giving you anxiety, Scorpio. You both want to live together in harmony, have a very happy connection. You both think the other person makes you happy. You miss each other. You want to get back in each other's good books, and you feel like there was an unexpected, horrible parting that wasn't what you wanted. You see value in the other person. I think you think you're well matched. There would be similar values, but you are both putting a bit of a protective bubble around yourselves at the moment. But what you deep down want, both of you, is a connected relationship that just keeps progressing to the next stage until you have reached that ultimate commitment of marriage, living together. There's definitely a big vibe about living together here, Scorpio. Okay, so I am seeing communication then about this. Let's have a look at the timeline for that communication. So universe, when will Scorpio hear from their person? When will Scorpio's person reach out about a reconciliation, please, universe? When will Scorpio's person reach out about a reconciliation? saying not in this lifetime, which doesn't seem to fit with what I've seen. So let's keep going. And there is something about a house and a home that's coming up again. It feels like the message here for me, looking at this card, is your home will not... I feel like you two will be together in a home, okay? I don't mean an old people's home. I mean you will share a home together. I'm not expressing myself very well today. I do apologise. I am quite tired. Yeah, so I think 6 months from now, across the summer and beyond into the autumn. Yeah. I do think, you know, you could hear from this person as soon as today, but I think anything of substance will be slightly further out, Scorpio. But let's find out what messages they'd want to give to you. So if you're not communicating at the moment, or you're not communicating very well, let's find out what this person would want to say to you. What are their hidden messages to you, Scorpio? What are Scorpio's hidden messages? Oh, Scorpio's person's hidden messages to Scorpio. Oh dear. Get in there. It was my fault, but I blamed you. I left before you could leave me, so maybe they sabotaged this connection. It's time for me to heal now. Perhaps they've got to get over whatever it was that happened. They're afraid to contact you. They say they feel you even though you're apart, so you're very energetically connected, and there's a lot of chemistry and attraction there. They want to say how attractive they find you. All right, Scorpio. Hope that was helpful. Thank you for joining me. Please make sure you're subscribed if you are not already. It sets the intention that you'd like to be part of the collective that I read for regularly. We'll make sure that you can come back and find me. You know when my readings are posted. Helps my channel tremendously as well. I'm gradually ticking up the number of subscribers, but each one makes a huge difference to me. I treasure and value all of you, so thank you very much. And we'll move to Sagittarius now. So Sagittarius, we're looking at whether you will reconcile with your person. And first of all, we're going to look at their feelings and intentions regarding a reconciliation. Then we'll look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome based on how you feel and how you're likely to interact together. And then we'll look at a timeline for any action or communication, and we'll look at hidden messages from your person. If you're not communicating, or you're not communicating well and they're not sharing their feelings, we will look at what they would want to say to you. Okay, Sagittarius. So we've got some cards that have come out onto the table for you. We've got the Magician, we've got the Star, we've got Temperance, we've got the Two of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and the Lovers. Okay, ooh, so Lovers is a very, very strong connection. It is like of all encompassing attraction, love, connection, that kind of thing. It's like soulmates. You can't ignore it. It reaches in and grabs you. But they're trying to get their balance, because it's kind of knocked them off balance, the level and the degree of attraction and the connection that they felt with you, Sagittarius. It almost feels like your connection has been magical and divinely instrumented or orchestrated, shall we say, with the Star and the Magician. They've got a lot going on in their world. I don't know if they're juggling work commitments, perhaps, you know, children from another relationship, money issues, needing to make some change in their life, whatever it is. Maybe they've got other responsibilities as well, caring for family members or whatever it is. There's a lot going on that they're trying to deal with. But it feels like you two kind of really struck a connection, and maybe there was things that just got in the way of you being able to progress. It doesn't feel like you've had a big falling out, actually. It doesn't feel like there's any big problem here other than this person's had a lot going on. But I do feel they are going to come forward and offer you something small. Perhaps they can't offer you much at the moment, but I think they'd like to offer you something. And it will be a gesture of how much they care for you. I think that will be the primary message, and it will be about how they've been healing from something and how they have a lot of wishes and desires around your connection. I do feel they may be quite charming, and use their persuasive powers around you and on you as well, Sagittarius. Let's find out what the mutual energies are and the likely outcome between you two. So universe, what are the mutual energies? What's the likely outcome for Sagittarius and their person, please? Feels like they've got a very strong connection. Messages for the highest good of Sagittarius, please, around mutual energies and likely outcome with this person that Sagittarius is thinking about reconciling with, or wondering if there will be a reconciliation. Yeah, you're both very anxious, you're both up in your thoughts. Your mental health might have suffered, both of you, over this situation, or there's been other things to coming into play that have been causing anxiety. Could once again have been some misunderstandings, other things and other people getting in the way of this connection. You both want to talk about it though in a very grown-up fashion, in a way where there's not too much emotion, but you do express properly how you feel. I think you want to talk about options. So if there's things getting in the way, what are the options? How can we work around it? How can we make things different? One of the options is walking away. I've just seen that. But I do feel that both of you ideally would like to come back towards each other and work through what your future might look like. Okay, so I do think there'll be some communication around that between you. Very, very strong connection there, Sagittarius. So let's find out what's the timeline for this communication and any next action from this person in regard to a reconciliation, please, universe. Okay, in a few weeks. Something happened in November that was a problem for you both. You've both had to sort of try and rebalance yourselves after that, whatever it was. And you need to make sure the universe is giving a message here, a strong message, Sagittarius, that you need to look after yourself. You might be getting a bit overwhelmed. Everything might be getting on top of you. We did see a bit of mental health challenges, coming up there. So just look after yourself. Take a break and a breather. The universe means this to come in for you. It will. Just look after yourself. It's really important that you do. At the right time, this is really going to just, the brakes will come off this. The blockers will disintegrate and things will just move forward because the universe will make it so, if that's what you want. Okay. Let's get some hidden messages from your person. Let's find out what they'd want to say if you are not in contact, or maybe you're not communicating well and they're not sharing their feelings. You'd like to know what their true feelings are. Let's see what their message from them would be, or is. They wish they'd treated you better. There's perhaps some ways that they feel they've got some regrets. They bury themselves in work to forget you. Perhaps work was getting in the way of your connection. They struggled to let you get close for whatever reason. They're really starting to understand the connection that you two have got. You might think they're all up together and, getting on with their life, but they're saying their life isn't as together as it seems, actually, in the circumstance that you both are in. There's something of significance that happened between the two of you. It could be the falling out, the parting of ways. It could be, just something good actually that happened between the two of you. But there's a day in particular, something that you shared or something that happened that they keep thinking about, and they're thinking of it in detail. Okay, so there could have been something of significance that they're thinking about in detail that went on between the two of you, Sagittarius. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking the video. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Now we're moving on to Capricorn. So welcome, Capricorn. How are you? I don't know about you, I'm a Capricorn. I've been feeling some really heavy energies, perhaps more into last week, but they're just starting to lift now and I'm starting to feel better. Did you feel any very strong energies causing some problems for you, Capricorn? Anyway, we're looking at the person on your mind and whether you're likely to reconcile with this person. We're going to look at their feelings and intentions around a reconciliation, and then we'll look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome based on, you know, how you're both likely to interact with each other around a reconciliation or the idea of a reconciliation. We'll look at the timeline for any actions, and we'll look at any hidden messages from your person if you're out of contact or they're not communicating well with you. Okay, Capricorn, so I'm going to do 3 more shuffles. 1, 2, 3. Split the deck. So the Hanged Man is on the table.
I'm not quite sure how to help you there.
I keep setting off Alexa. Oh dear. Every time she speaks it frightens me. Oh, she's set up in the room behind me. Okay, so we've got the Hanged Man, we've got Death, we've got the 5 of Wands, we've got the Ace of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the 10 of Wands. Okay, Capricorn, so, ooh. Excuse me. So I do feel like this person has withdrawn their energy just for now, but I don't think it'll be for very long, because I think this time apart, or this time of reflection that they're taking, will make it clearer to them what they are wanting for the future. And I think they're wanting to refresh your connection, put things to bed that maybe needed to be dealt with, close things down in their life that maybe were blocking your connection. And I think they want to squash problems that have been happening because of misunderstandings, miscommunications. Perhaps other people have been gossiping a little bit. There could be a situation around moving house, moving home, or just having a lot going on. And I do think a lot going on might be other people getting involved and causing some problems or some blockers here. And maybe that's what needs to be closed out in order to move forward with this person. They want to offer you something of significance. They want to offer you perhaps a reconciliation or a better relationship moving forward is what I really can see. They'd like a fresh start based on better discussions, better communications around what they've been thinking and where they see things headed. I do think you two could be a bit of a power couple if you can work through these issues, and there's lots of love there. They really are a loving, kind person. They would like more of an equal give and take situation, and they're definitely thinking about coming back towards you. The Fool card is ultimate kind of taking a leap to come back forward towards you. Let's have a look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome. Please, universe, for Capricorn and their person. What are the mutual energies and the likely outcome here for Capricorn and their person? Yes, I do think they're going to offer you something better, or a resolution to a problem. Yeah, I think they feel like you are their soulmate, their partner, a very, very good match, and I think you feel the same way. I think you're both going to be willing to do your own part, and I do think there's, you would like this connection to just keep progressing to the next stage until you reach the, full commitment, the level of full commitment, and full resolution here, and reconciliation. Okay, good energies there, good vibes, Capricorn. Could be a bit of an Aries or fire sign situation going on there. Let's have a look at the timeline then for communication. Universe timeline, please, for Capricorn and their person. Discussing a reconciliation, please. In less than a month. And when you stop thinking about it, because they're thinking about it too much can cause some resistance, some energetic resistance. So kind of release it. Think about other things, Capricorn. Go and, you know, don't obsess over it. Let it just be, if you like. And I do feel that communication will come back towards you. If you're out of contact with your person, let's find out what they'd want to say to you. What messages do they have for you? It might not be that you're fully out of contact, but perhaps they're not really sharing their feelings and you're confused as to what their feelings are. Let's find out what their feelings are. They say they hid who they really were from you. Maybe there was things going on that they didn't share with you, or a situation in their life that they didn't tell you about. If they felt that when you were together, you came really, really close to something very special. They're a bit concerned that maybe you had other things going on and maybe they were a distraction from a problem that maybe you'd had or were having. But they do seem very confident and you're hopeful that you'll be together again. They want things to be different. They don't want you to move on and leave them behind. They're scared of that. I think that's possibly what's going to drive them to come back towards you, Capricorn. They don't want to let you go. They don't want to see you with anybody else. They realise that, you know, if you do sort of get through the difficult time that maybe you've had together and heal from it, you might move on unless they take some action. Anyway, Capricorn, I hope that was helpful. Hope you enjoyed the reading. Please do like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. About 70% of my viewers are new viewers that maybe have just happened to come across me. If you are one of those viewers and you're enjoying my readings or you've enjoyed today, please do hit that subscribe button. That would mean so much to me and I would really like to see you again. It'll just set that intention that you'd like to be part of the collective that I read for regularly, pretty much daily at the moment. I'm hoping to try and keep that up. So thank you, I'll see you again. And now we're moving to Aquarius. So welcome, Aquarius. How are you today? I hope you are doing well. We are looking at the person on your mind and whether you're likely to reconcile with them, Aquarius. So we're going to look at your person's feelings and intentions regarding reconciliation. We'll look at mutual energies and likely outcome based on your feelings around the subject as well, and how you're likely to interact together. We'll look at the timeline for any action and communication between the two of you, and we'll look at any hidden messages from your person. If you're out of contact or they're not communicating their feelings very well to you, we will look at what they would want to say to you about their feelings. Okay, so Aquarius, 2 more shuffles please. 1, 2. Okay, there's one on the table. What is that? Oh, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. We've got Temperance. We've got the Magician. We've got the 6 of Pentacles. We have got the Knight of Swords. And we have got the Moon. Okay, so Aquarius. I can't remember which sign I was on there for a moment. Aquarius. This person, I feel like you were meant to meet each other, so you've got a very strong connection. You've got a karmic contract with each other, okay? And part of that contract is about equal give and take, how to be a good partner, how to step up, how to be loyal to somebody through thick and thin, how to be like a ride or die kind of partner, how to give to it equally and really perhaps utilize each other's strengths in order to perhaps do different tasks or take different roles in the connection, but each take your share, right? Perhaps this person particularly had a lesson to learn around that. It feels like the parting of ways upset them quite significantly, and they're just trying to get rebalanced. They're trying to rebalance themselves so that when they come back towards you, they can talk to you in a measured, not too emotional fashion, because they do have things they want to say, and the things that they want to talk about relate to very deep emotions, very deep-seated feelings, things that are very important to them. And so they realise that unless they're balanced, when they come back towards you, I've just seen 1111 by the way, you know, that conversation might not go very well. And I think historically they've hidden their feelings, Aquarius. They've pushed them down. That hasn't gone very well. That's actually manifested a problem, and they've realised that they need to do things differently, okay? They're trying to balance themselves before they come back towards you, and they're reflecting on the lessons that they've learnt already based on what's gone on between you, Aquarius. Okay, so let's look at mutual energies and likely outcome. So universe, what are the mutual energies and what's the likely outcome, please, between Aquarius and their person? Specifically, we're inquiring around a potential reconciliation, please, universe. Okay, so I think you both want to try and make an offer to each other. So it does feel like there could be equal give and take here in a very, very strong way, Aquarius. I'm seeing communication. Both of you want communication. You've both got a lot of wishes, hopes, dreams around this connection that you hope to heal. Yeah, very, very strong connection between the two of you. I'm seeing like a divinely orchestrated connection. Neither of you wants to let the other one go. It's almost like a slightly possessive, jealous energy. You do want to come back towards each other. And I think you feel like the universe, you kind of have a knowing that the universe will kind of support you in making this happen. Okay, that's what I'm getting here, Aquarius. Do let me know if this is resonating. Would love to hear. Okay, let's look at a timeline then for next communications and actions. Universe, what's the timeline, please, for the next communication and actions between Aquarius and their person in relation to this reconciliation that we can see they both would like to have? Wait for Aquarius to jump in now and say, I don't. I don't want to reconcile. But you're watching this video, which suggests maybe you do, right? But it's always up to you. You have free will, free choice. You can make your mind up. I'm not telling you what you should do. Yeah, it might be a bit frustrating. This might come in a little bit later than you might hope for, Aquarius. You might need some patience here, but this person does really need to balance themselves. Now, it could be April, which actually isn't far away, but it might feel like a really long time away. But it is important that this person just takes that time to get themselves straight, like emotionally kind of sorted a little bit better before they come towards you. Now, let's find out what they would want to say to you. What hidden messages are there from them to you? So this could be if you're out of contact, or perhaps they're just not communicating their feelings. You're a bit confused about how they feel, or you would like some insight and clarity. Universe, what messages would Aquarius's person have for Aquarius, please? What would they like to say to Aquarius? What would they like to say? I'm so attracted to you. There's clearly a lot of attraction. I love you unconditionally is coming out here. I'm becoming a better person. I think this is part of their rebalancing. Love again. They're attracted to you. They love you. Love you unconditionally. Very much messages of love coming out here, Aquarius. One more. I think maybe there was something they didn't quite tell you the truth about, or they didn't give you the full picture and they regret that. Okay, they do regret it. They've got some regrets there, Aquarius. Right, thank you for joining me today. Please like the video. Please make sure you are subscribed. I've got lots of people who find my video, I guess they come across it, it's recommended. They click on it 'cause maybe they like the thumbnail. You stay and watch my reading for your sign. If you're one of those people and you'd like to come back and find me again and you enjoyed the reading, please subscribe. Honestly, I've got most people coming to watch me and not subscribed, so if you feel called to subscribe, that would be so appreciated, and I will really look forward to seeing you again. If not, if you could just drop me a like on the way out, I'll take that. Thank you very much. All right, and I'll see you soon. And now we're on to Pisces. Welcome, Pisces. I've already got a card jumped out for you. So we're looking at your person, the person on your mind, and whether you might reconcile with this person. First of all, we're going to look at your person's feelings and intentions around a reconciliation. Then we're going to look at mutual energies and the possible or the likely outcome based on those energies. So that's how you will likely interact with each other, how you're feeling about it as well. And then we'll look at timeline and hidden messages from your person, Pisces. Okay. Okay, so we've got quite a lot on the table. My goodness. Okay. Right, we've got the Six of Swords. We've got Judgment. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. Got just the right number of cards here, by the way. Eight of Swords and one extra. The Seven of Wands, and then the extra one I've got here is the Knight of Pentacles. So this person wants to put things right. They do want a reconciliation. They just don't know how to do it. They're realizing what they want in life, and you know, you're part of that, but they just don't quite know how to move forward. Should they reach out? Should they message you? Should they knock on your door? Should they send you a letter? Should they send a message via a friend? Should they reach out on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp? You know, they just don't quite know what to do, what to say. And so they're trying to gain some understanding. I think they might be chatting it through with friends, not breaching any confidences, but maybe trying to work it through with friends to get some advice and guidance on exactly what to do and help them make a decision on that. But they really want to come back towards you. I think they feel like maybe also you could be just on the cusp of a reconciliation. Maybe there has been a little bit of communication, and maybe they're really hoping that maybe there's that hope there, and they're just wishing that you're on the cusp of it. They are a little bit afraid of being hurt. They're a bit afraid of being rejected. So they are trying to put a little bit of a protective bubble around them. And they're trying to build up their sort of resilience and their ability to cope with whatever the outcome might be here if, you know, you were to reject them. They think you're special. They think, not in a weird way, they think you're different from other people in a very good way. They think that you really stand out as a person that really would complement their life, make them happy, somebody they could rely on and treasure and value, and that would, you know, work with them as a good partner. And that is very, very hard to find, but they see that in you. I think they see that you come from a family that, you know, has instilled some good values in you. And if that's not the case, you've found them for yourself, right? You've got those beliefs for yourself, okay? And I think they want to offer you something that you will see of being of value. And again, they're a little bit worried about how you will react and respond. So let's look at the mutual energies and the likely outcome, and that will help us to see how you are feeling about it. Feel free to put me straight, Pisces, if you don't feel as I am going to suggest. But mutual energies then, and the likely outcome here in relation to a reconciliation. Mutual energies, likely outcome in relation to a reconciliation, please, universe. Oh, you both want to communicate, okay? 8 of Wands, incoming communication of substance where you're both having a conversation or back and forth messaging, each of you giving some information that makes the situation a bit clearer, helps move things forward. It's not just, hey, how are you? I'm good, thanks, how are you? It's kind of, this is how I feel, this is what I would like to do, how do you feel about this or that? Proper conversation that actually results in you better understanding each other's perspectives. You both feel like you don't want to let the other one go. Very strong connection there with the Lovers. You both feel like you're willing to give a little apology perhaps and work on this and take on some of the strain of putting things right. I think you're both really thinking of each other, and so you'll almost bring in, you know, manifest the communication is what's coming out here. So timeline then, Pisces. Let's look at when you're likely to hear from this person, or when you're likely to have this conversation about a reconciliation, about what you want for the future. Okay, it's not too late for you guys to put things right and to reconcile, okay? And one morning I feel you're going to wake up and there'll be a message from this person. It could be across a significant date, like a holiday or a date that means something to both of you. I do feel like something happened across the fall, the autumn, as we would say here in the UK. So I think maybe September, October, November, perhaps things were not going well. January, you started to perhaps see things a little bit differently. Things started to settle, even if it was you were apart, and you know, feelings started to grow again. It's not too late, okay? I do think you will hear from each other, from this person. Oh yeah, when you least expect it, one morning a message will come in. I don't think that was very specific. Maybe I'm not supposed to give you anything more specific than that, Pisces, but anyway, let's see what your person would want to say to you. Please do like the video. I would really appreciate it. It would help me greatly. Just, it's free to do. It's a little gesture of appreciation if you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much. Please also subscribe. If you found me, you've come across my video and you enjoyed it, enjoyed the reading, please do subscribe because I'd love to see you again. I do post regularly. Go and have a look at my other videos as well, my other readings. But anyway, back to Pisces. Person's message to Pisces, please. Oop, okay, so Pisces, what they'd want to say to you. The timing wasn't right. Okay, there was something they didn't really share with you that they should have done, or they were a bit disingenuous, perhaps they were a bit misleading in how they communicated something. They stay awake thinking about you, so they're in this energy of really thinking about you, and you're probably feeling that energy really strongly. They're trying to heal, but they do keep thinking about your conversations, because I think that's the clue to how they realise they need to come forward to you in the future. They want to feel the way that they felt again when they were with you, how they felt then. They want to feel that way again, and they wish they'd done things differently. They wish you treated you better. They keep going round and round in their mind about what they wish, you know, they'd done differently, Pisces. Anyway, that was your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. So now we're going to do a quick all signs their sign. So this is where you watch the sign or the signs of the person or the people that you are interested in to get a message in relation to that sign or those signs. Okay, I'm using the Everyday Tarot. I like it because it's small and cute. I find smaller decks easier to shuffle. I love this woodland deck that I've been using. It's so beautiful, but the cards are big and they're hard to handle. My hands are actually hurting a little bit. Okay. All right. So all signs their sign. if you are dealing with an Aries. Oh, the Aries wants to talk. They'd like a new start with you based on conversation. They're going to come and visit you. They're going to talk about trying to get back close to you again. That's what they really would like to do. If you're dealing with a Taurus, Taurus is still heartbroken over the failure of your connection. There could have been a third party involved here. They're throwing themselves into work and trying to earn their money and get themselves stable. But, you know, they would also be willing to work on this connection if given the opportunity. If you're dealing with a Gemini, the Gemini is hoping that you will make the next move. They're kind of holding back a little bit. I think they're afraid of scaring you or coming on too strong. So they're almost waiting to see what you might do. If you're dealing with a Cancer, Cancer has been trying to manifest better things after being quite burdened down in life, going through difficulties. But they are in manifestation mode and are bringing better things in. Okay, that was Cancer, wasn't it? If you are dealing with a Leo, the Leo would like to talk to you. They've got something they'd like to say. They're not very willing to let go of this connection easily. I think there's something about it that they're just holding on to. Okay, if you're dealing with a Virgo, you have a karmic connection, a soul contract with this person. So there's lessons to be learned. I feel like things will move on in your favour, so you will perhaps be able to reconcile if that's what you would like to do, Virgo. And I do think that there'll be a lot of attention from this person and a lot of tending to your relationship and putting some effort in to make it grow and heal. Okay, if you're dealing with a Libra, the Libra has not moved on. If you're wondering, they are single. But you might be in a connection that needs to come to an end in order for this to come about. They might be wondering if maybe you are in a connection. All right. If you are dealing with a Scorpio, the Scorpio is focused on money. They could be thinking about an earth sign. So if you're an earth sign watching, they could be thinking very much and focused on you. But they feel that they're on the cusp of something great, and it could be the cusp of a reconciliation with you and an ability to put that right if they've been working on it. Okay, if you're dealing with a Sagittarius, I think that you've got a lot of history with this Sagittarius, and you might have children with them. There are things around work. You could have met through work. You could be in a similar profession, a similar line of work. But this person would like to take you out maybe on a date or do something nice together to try and alleviate whatever problems you've been having and have a better conversation about it. Okay, if you're dealing with a Capricorn, Capricorn's quite anxious. They're maybe thinking through, overthinking things, thinking that there's been some sort of misunderstanding or that people have got involved, and they're a very private person and they don't like the thought of other people getting involved in their business. So there could have been an issue around that, other people's, you know, your family or other people, friends getting involved where they don't like it. Okay. If you're dealing with an Aquarius, the Aquarius has been showing off a little bit. They might have been putting things on social media. They're hoping that you might notice and hoping that maybe at the crossroads you're at now, which is either move further away from each other or come back towards each other, they're hoping that you will want to come back towards each other. Okay. If you're dealing with a Pisces, the Pisces feels like the connection between the two of you came to an end out of the blue. It was a big surprise. It was a big, devastating, shocking loss to them. And as a result of that, they got their guard up a little bit because their feelings have been quite hurt and they might need to just heal a little bit before they could even think about a reconciliation. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching once again. Please make sure you're subscribed. Please do give me a thumbs up. If you're willing to share any comments in the description or in the comments about, you know, how my readings have resonated for you today, that would be really, really helpful. And please do support each other as well in the comments as well. I do appreciate it when I see that happening. I have a lot of people, I'll say a lot of people. I get some people come along and say, oh, you haven't put timestamps anywhere. Well, they'll be in the timeline, okay, along the bottom. So if you scroll along the bottom of where the video is, you'll see that you can just scroll along to the right reading, the right star sign for you, because it's there in segments that you can just move to the right one. And the timestamps will also be in the description box, okay, and that's what drives the the timings along the timeline. Okay, so when people say you haven't put timestamps, I don't know why they can't see it. It is a little bit frustrating, but anyway, they are there. I think most people can see them. I just get the odd people that, you know, a few people that don't. And anyway, hopefully this time you will, and maybe I'll drop a pinned comment as well, just to remind people that's where they can find the timeline, or the timings, the timestamps. As you can tell, I'm very tired and I'm struggling to get my words this evening, but I do hope you enjoyed the reading, and I will look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye bye for now.